This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so today we will dive into networking and we'll see like basically how networking works.
Okay.
So we'll look into the Azure network architecture. So we'll create a virtual network. We'll set up some security groups, basically the firewall, and we'll open some ports and all in the firewall. Then we'll launch a VM into the particular network, and we'll see how we can configure a DNS static IP and all, and user-defined routes also.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing is the network architecture. So if you remember before we looked into the virtual machines architecture. So now we are adding the network component into it. So basically, like this plan is going to be given by your network team. So they will be telling you that you have these IPs and all you can use for your virtual machines and your public IP and all. Right.
Okay.
So this network architecture will be put on top of your virtual machine architecture. Right.
Okay.
So if you see here, like similarly, so we have a resource group that is fully on the outside, and inside the resource group again we have a virtual network, which is basically your 192.168.0.0/16, and within that we have two subnets. So one is for the web server, that is your /24, and one is for the SQL server /24 2.0.20. This is 1.0.24. So, and again, this is the NSG, that is the firewall over the virtual machine, or that is
network security group or something.
Yes, network security group. Yes. So this is protecting my virtual machine from anyone who is trying to access data from my servers. So in this only we need to open the ports for outside traffic to come in into my virtual machine. So if you see this, the public IP is opened only for the web server. It is not opened for the SQL server.
Okay, yeah, because the public IP is the front end what we used to connect it. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, this IP will be used by your users and everyone to connect to your web application, and your web application will be talking to your SQL server to get the data and display it. Right.
Okay.
Okay. So this
is
that's
how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a basic one. Now, in case of a real world scenario, let me quickly go to. Okay. So in a real world scenario, it is a little bit different. So if you see here, so basically you'll have the internet or the open internet outside, and you'll have a load balancer, and you'll have your virtual network here, and inside that you'll have a web tier, maybe a middleware, and finally you'll have a data tier, which will have your SQL servers and all. So here your open internet is hitting your load balancer, and load balancer will decide if it needs to send it to which virtual machine, which web server. Okay. So if you have a very large or very huge number of users and requests and all coming in, and you have a lot of applications, then you can go for a load balancer between your tiers. Because rarely, like we have seen situations where you need a load balancer between the tiers. So this is a rare thing. If you need it, you can go for it. So now your question will be like, what about my dev team? So mostly your DevOps will have a jump server in configured in the virtual network. Yeah,
that's
server.
why we have actually. That's how we have.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the work of a jump box. So basically, your jump box is again one port will be opened to the outside so that your DevOps team can log into this jump box server, and this jump box server you can able to do RDP into the other servers and all, which is inside the network. Right. From outside, the DevOps team cannot RDP to this virtual machine. So that's how your port needs to be managed.
So why we have jump boxes internally for the DevOps team to monitor the servers and log into the servers?
Yes. So basically, we don't want our servers to be accessible outside the network through RDP. Okay, because RDP connection can be hacked by anyone to log into your server. So that's why it will be only RDP connection will be opened for the jump box, and your DevOps team will log in into the jump box. From jump box, they will be hitting your servers. So if tomorrow this port is compromised, then I can deactivate my jump box, or I can break the connection here so that whoever is trying to access my servers and all won't be able to access them. So only one point is there, jump box.
So why we use jump box is to access my RDP my servers internally within the team.
So, within the virtual network.
Yeah.
Okay, so normally you won't open a RDP port from your web server or from your database server or from your business server to the open internet. So you will open those ports to your jump box. Okay, so I will RDP to the jump box. From jump box, I'll RDP to the other servers.
Yeah, first it's asking to or DP to the jump box, and from there it is asking to connect to the other server. So it means that
Yes, yes,
I'm just connecting to my jump box. From there, I'm just trying to connect to any of the web servers, application servers from
yes,
there. Yeah.
yes, yes. It's a little bit more secured architecture. That's the only reason here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how a real world application looks like.
Okay. So what if a third party, third person wants to RDP to the server?
When you say third party, you mean like you have outsourced your development to some other
Yeah.
organization?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, then they need to have a connection to your jump box. Like they need to be having access to your virtual network, and through that they'll be able to come. They
Connect
need
to
to come
the.
to the jump box
Okay.
and connect to the other thing. So you may provide another jump box to them, which will be like a third party jump box or something you can name it. So they
Okay.
can connect to that jump box and they can jump into servers. So
Okay.
normally we will have for every region we'll have a jump box. So depending on your architecture or your network and all, you can configure it. So we have, so in case of my organization, like we have a jump box for our HFX servers will have a jump box for our
Okay.
EMEA will have
Sorry.
a jump
Your voice is breaking. Sorry.
box, and for I think is a we have for our production we'll have my so suppose this is my production setup box. If this is my no QA setup, I'll have a QA jump box. So similarly, so as many data centers, that many jump box and all.
Chandan, I'm sorry. Your voice is breaking.
Okay. All our this platform team or let me check the connectivity. Yeah, it's a
It is
little bit orange. How
Yeah,
about
it
now?
is completely. It is now. It is fine now. But previously, when you said the jump box
Okay.
about your configuration, it got break. That anyways, and I understood what you're trying to say for the jump box
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. 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 So anyways, it's there in the recording. You can go for the recording just one more time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is how a real world scenario looks like.
Okay.
Okay. So first thing what we will do is we'll create a virtual network. So in case of Azure, it is pretty simple. So let me show you. Okay. So basically, again, you'll go into your portal, go into new, go into networking, and select virtual network. So if you see, like, we'll deep dive into load balancer, application gateway, virtual network with this virtual network, load balancer, and a little bit of application gateway. So application gateway is nothing but an advanced load balancer. You can think of it like that. So basically, we'll create a virtual network here, and similarly, so we'll give it a name, good name. So I've given it here my VNet, but it will be always good to have your proper name, like your company name underscore your dev or whatever network and all you have. Basically that. And this address space and all this will be provided by your network team. And again, so you need to have a subnet name. So let it be say a front end if I'm going to build for my web server. It would be a back end if I'm going to build for my database server. So subnet range again, this will come from the
No,
architecture.
no.
So if you
Subnet
remember the
name.
architecture,
Sorry. Subnet
yeah.
name. How do we put the subnet name? It should be front end. If you're using front end, so what is a subnet name? I didn't understand.
Here what happens is, so if you see this architecture, so
Yeah.
in this architecture itself, we have the web server. So normally the web server is called the front end. So you can
Okay.
name it front end,
Yes.
you can name it a web server also, web server subnet also. So
Okay.
depending on your naming convention, you can choose. And
Okay.
backend is our SQL server.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, so here like, so it's just a name for my subnet. So I'm giving it a front end, I'm giving 1.0/24. For my backend, I will name it like backend slash 2.0/24. That's it.
Okay.
And again, the subscription in which you want to put it in. If you want to create a new resource group, you can do that.
Yeah,
So
for
here,
this networking alone, yeah.
yeah. So basically, I'll create a new resource group. So my application, put it in a location in West US and just publish it.
Okay,
So
for
once
networking also, does it need a new resource group or we can sync it with the resource group which has been already created?
you can, if you can use existing resource group and you can put your network into another resource group also, which
Okay,
is
so what
already there.
happens is if I created a virtual machine and I have some application server and web server into my virtual machine. So how will I sync
Right.
both of the application? I'm using one storage. So how will I sync
Correct.
both of my application and the web server into one? If I use the resource groups, if for example use the existing and then select the one which I've created before. So will it both the
Yes.
servers come into this network?
You need to associate them. So I'll show you. So we'll create when
Okay.
we deploy the virtual machine into the network. That one I'll show you how you will associate it.
Okay.
Okay. So actually, like we skipped those steps in the virtual machine class. So we just went with the new one. So that I will show you how it can be configured here.
Okay.
Okay. So here I'm creating a new resource group. So just for my virtual network. So normally first you will create the virtual network, then the firewall, and then inside that you put the virtual machine. That's the normal way how it is. But the scenario which you put also can be possible. Like say for example, I already have my virtual machine set up, and
Okay.
I need to build a new network for them. That also is possible. You just need to
Okay.
reassociate your virtual machines into subnets and all.
Okay. So now I understood. Now, I mean, creation of network would be the first, and then the virtual machines, resource group, storage, and everything.
First is the network, then is the
Yeah.
firewall, then is the virtual machine.
Okay. Next is the firewall. Okay. NSGs.
Yeah. Okay, so now I have just my virtual network created. I don't have any virtual machine inside it. So just my virtual network is ready.
Okay.
So
Can you
next
go
thing
back?
is,
I just want to see that slide when you clicked on. Okay.
yeah.
So after this, what happens?
So you click on this
Okay.
create. So it
Validating.
will create will be there. It will validate it, and then it will do the deployment.
Okay.
So deployment
Okay.
succeeded will happen, and
Okay.
inside your my app resource group you'll have a my VNet.
Okay.
Okay. So this is just the virtual network. We didn't do any kind of
Any.
other config. Just a network we created.
Okay.
So all this is possible using PowerShell. So I would recommend you to give it a try using PowerShell because GUI is simple. You can always find out how it is done in GUI, but PowerShell you
Okay.
need to
PowerShell
remember,
is.
right? So that's
Okay.
why. Okay, so here if you see the DNS servers, it is Azure provided DNS service. So here we'll go into this later. So basically, like if you want to add a custom DNS server from your say GoDaddy or anything, also you can do that. So I'll show
Okay.
you like how you can do that also later. Okay, so next we'll go into subnets. So we have when we created the virtual network itself, we created the front end subnet. So similarly, we can add a new subnet and we can give it a good name and put it like a backend subnet also. Okay, so let me go quickly to the other. Okay, so this is basically how your virtual network, your DNS and your subnets look like. Okay, so next is setting up the firewall. Okay, so here what we will do is this one I'll start with the demo itself. Okay, so next what I will do is I'll go into same networking. I can select network security group. So instead of going
NSG.
this
Yeah.
way also, you can always search for it. Say network
Network
security
security
group,
group.
you will get it.
Okay.
Just select it and you can have a, so if you this one should always be there in your mind, not this one. One sec.
The previous one, web server, SQL Server application.
Uh, this one. Okay. So here, like now we
Yeah.
need to create two network security groups. So one for the front end and one for the back end, right?
Okay.
So if you see here, allow TCP 80 from 000, that is the internet, and here allow TCP port from this one only, 1.0/24. So only web server can hit our backend. No one else can hit our backend. Okay,
Wonderful.
so
Yeah.
this firewall we need to open up. So if once you have this in your back of your mind, it will be easy for you to build the servers.
Okay. But I'm really not very sure with this port. How the port works, how it is opening, all these things. If you can just give a heads up on that, that will be really nice.
Yeah, that I'll show
No,
you
you
like
got.
how to configure and how to open. But if you're asking me like why TCP is 80 and why RTP is 3389, that I won't be able to answer. So maybe a networking guy would be able to help you with that. But how to
No, no,
open
no.
the
I
port
just wanted
and which
to.
port to open for what, that I can tell you.
No, yeah, you can just say the how
Yeah,
the
that
port
I'll show you.
opens.
I
That's
have
fine.
it. I
Yeah.
have it on the slide. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. So basically, I'm creating a front end network security group. And once I deployed, my security group and my virtual net VNet are now in my resource group. Okay, so now they still both are not associated with each other. So I need to associate them. So for that, what I will do is I will go inside my front end
No,
security group. Okay, so
sorry.
here I'll be basically
sorry for interrupting. Can you go back to the slide
Uh,
where it is creating the network group NSG?
yeah.
Okay, so now we selected it, and
Yes.
why did we give name as a front end?
So
Oh,
if
okay,
you
we are creating
see,
from the internet to the web server. Yeah.
yeah, so we are getting this NSG.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah.
Okay. So front end, again subscription, resource group, location. That's it. So give it a
Okay.
create. Okay. So once it is deployment is succeeded, so you'll have your network security group also ready. So now in my security group, I'll configure the rules, inbound security rules, and basically the ports and all. I'll see how it opens.
Okay.
So we'll have mainly four things. That is inbound security rule, outbound security rule, and the subnets and DNS. So let me show you quickly. Okay, so network interface and subnets, yes. So I'll go
So
into the
inbound.
inbound security rules. Okay, so I'm telling my firewall when traffic is coming from this port and all, you allow them, or from traffic is coming from this port and all, you don't allow them. Okay, so I'll go ahead. So basic HTTP port, I'll allow it. So I'll give it a priority, say 100. So priority is basically till 65,500 is there. So if the priority is above 65,500, it will be blocked. So I'll show you when I go into the default rules. Okay, so for this one, I'll give it a priority, say 100. So a source should be any. So service, HTTP service, and the TCP
TCP.
all will come. So if you're selecting HTTP, by default TCP and all will come, and allow the port.
Okay.
Okay.
Stop. Sorry for
So if you
interrupting. Can
want
you go
like
back to the?
nobody, yeah,
Can you go back to the previous slide? Previous one. Okay. So when I'm selecting,
yeah,
no, the before one.
yeah.
Okay. So
So here,
now
so
you selected
inbound
the.
security rules.
Yeah. So now we after getting into the NSG, you have this. If I click on the
Yeah,
NSG, then I get this one. Yeah.
this, yeah. So
Yeah. So my
this
first
whole
settings.
this part here at the top.
I'm sorry, the network is breaking again.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, can we go? I mean, after this, so first option is you're getting into the inbound security rules. Yeah.
Inbound security rules. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can you go for
Okay.
the next
So
one? Yes.
here basically I'm going and adding.
Okay.
So I'll go here and I'll show you the default rules also.
Okay.
Okay. So once I click on add, so here I'm selecting HTTP and giving it a priority say 100. I'm selecting the
Okay.
HTTP service. So by default 80 port and TCP will get selected and I'm allowing it. So if you
Okay.
want HTTP should not be allowed, only people should come to HTTPS, then here you need to select HTTPS
HTTP.
service, and again for that 443 and all will be open. So you give OK, and I have an hour rule for HTTP. So similarly,
Okay.
I'll add one more rule that is for HTTPS. So here it is 443 port and allow, give OK. Okay, so similarly, I can create this HTTPS. So now one more thing I'm doing here. So basically, like I want to RDP to this virtual machine. So since I'm showing it for the demo. So I need to RDP to this particular virtual machine to make it a web server or to see things inside it. So that's the reason I need to open the RTP port for my IP address.
No, sorry. Hello?
So
Hello?
just go
Hello? Hello?
your take from IP block and all I'm selecting. Switch to WhatsApp call.
Yes, I think we'll switch to WhatsApp call. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.